Hello everybody and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. In today's video, we will be talking about Orchid's AMA recap. I'll be reading this through for you, so consider this like an audiobook. They do have more information on their Telegram, which we'll be talking about at the very bottom there. We'll also be talking about what happened today with Yearn.Finance, with Chainlink, with Polkadot, as well as a little bit with Bitcoin, and we'll take a look also at the Orchid charts. If you guys are new to the channel and you want more cryptocurrency news, technical analysis, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And before we get started, if you could help us get a little momentum, just in case you think you might forget later, feel free to hit like. Those of you guys that are returning viewers, it's good to see you again. So go ahead and get right into the information here. So first thing I want to take a look at is Yearn.Finance. And this has launched onto Coinbase. And how did it do? Well, I don't know. You can see that's all the past history right there, and it's just one giant line of red. I mean, that's bad. That's real bad. That was up about $44,000 on Coinbase. It's at $33,653 right now. So it didn't exactly have a great day. You can see over here in CoinMarketCap, they're basically around the same amount. So you're looking at about a 14.96, almost 15% drop. Probably right around the 15% mark, since what I see on the Coinbase is technically lower than this. But yeah, approximately 15% drop just over the last 24 hours. It was doing really, really well. A lot of times you see when things release onto Coinbase, it has a good movement push up because now there's more opportunity for people that are in demand of this that didn't have the opportunity to actually access it. Now they actually have the opportunity to access it. But a lot of stuff ended up kind of happening today. Yearn.Finance, one of the things that just kind of ended up tanking. Boom, check that off the list. Chainlink, guess what? Same thing. Ended up tanking quite a bit. 11% drop down to $10.80. You can see over the progression over the last 24 hours, it has steadily dropped down from range like right around $12.17, $12.15, all the way down here and right around the $10.80 range. So it had a rough day as well. But what else had a rough day? Well, Polkadot. I mean, pretty much everything except for Bitcoin yesterday, today, it went down. So Polkadot, you can see here, down 4.17%, $5.14 over the last 24 hours. Had a little bit of a bob here, kind of went up, hit a little bit of a higher around $5.43, and started dropping back down. And you can see it's starting to climb itself a little bit more back into position. But yeah, it is still technically down 4.17%. Boom, check it off the list. We're going to be moving through. I did a really long video yesterday. If you guys want to check out a lot of the information, the big background check that I kind of went into about the past history, what happened with MicroStrategy and when they had bought a bunch of Bitcoin back in August 11th, they bought $250 million worth of Bitcoin. Well, they just bought, I believe it was 150 million more. It averages out, so they own a lot of Bitcoin now. Their average price that they paid for is $11,111.11. So it's at $10,727 right now, right? That means that even if you bought Bitcoin at this exact moment, it was your very first time, you technically are buying it at a cheaper price than what they bought it at on the average. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind there. Taking a look at this on the chart, though, you can see that we did have quite of a bit of a big push up. Ironically, this little green line here, I talked about this in a past video. This was just a whatever line that I drew, worrying that maybe we're going to form ourselves a double top on the 21 EMA, because historically, if you went back here, you could see that we had it happen back when it was around the $14,000 range, and then also we had it happen when it was around the $20,000 range. And as we're forming kind of like these new lower highs on the big term scale perspective, 20,000, 14,000, then here like 12,500, we might potentially see that curve back down. It's a situation that I kind of want to see happen. I kind of don't from a personal perspective. If it goes down lower, then I could just buy more. I don't want Bitcoin to go to zero, and I don't think it'll ever will, which kind of leads me into the next point. So, they oftentimes talk about this in videos. I'm not a financial advisor, guys, so make sure you always do further research. Consider all this as a form of entertainment, and hopefully it does give you some good basis to kind of work off of. There's other people that make good videos too. I'm going to try and keep this video a lot shorter than other videos that I've done before, if you take a look at my history on that stuff. So let me know if you guys like me condensing this down and being a little bit more on main points instead of so in-depth, or maybe you enjoy some of the in-depth stuff. Anyways, so we're still in this space here, working on the long-term perspective on an ascending wedge pattern. Sorry with my throat. We're about in the median range for the RSI. We had passed above the 21 EMA, this little yellow line right here. As you guys can see, we dipped right above it, and we were making some good momentum. I mean, we were pushing close right there, just on the cusp of $11,000. And then it pulled back. And you know what's interesting when you take a look at this too? Look at what happened today, in essence, or roughly yesterday, and then the day before. And the volume down below here, they're almost the same. Almost. Massive push up, a little bit of a pullback, further continuation up, a little bit of a pullback. So steadily throughout the course of about 48 hours, it was pretty much go, 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 go. Now we're having a bit of a pullback here. The volume stick so far is pretty low. If we can retrace back up above this 21 EMA, we've only got a little bit more to go to meet it up with where the other candlestick had positioned itself before we try and continue to pass above this $11,000 range. So we see that there is a little bit of resistance that's going on here at the $11,000 range. A lot of people apparently are shorting right now. They think that it is going to have another drop. This could be a little bit of a fake out that's going on. But if this does drop down back down here again, then we're getting a little bit of a weave going on here, kind of like a Bart Simpson pattern. So there might be that chance that it ends up reclaiming all of this. You see this massive drop that took place. We have days in the past historically, which you can even see one roughly right about here, where there's a big drop down, something happens, and then it claims almost everything back. Just as dramatic as it was on the way down, it could be just as dramatic on the way back up. And this is something that we do see happen fairly frequently, especially depending on what kind of chart you're looking at. If you're looking on a daily or a 1 hour, 4 hour, a 15-minute, something like that, you could see Bart Simpson's patterns happen quite a bit. That's why crypto is so considered to be volatile. So right now, with where we are currently at, we're just slightly below that 21 EMA. Keep an eye on this and see where it's going to be heading. Guys, if it does push back below, we could see it test down on the lows here. The lowest we're seeing is right around the $9,800 range. Anything below that is essentially ready to fill in the CME gap. So around $9,600 would be another key level to kind of keep an eye at for the downward side. On the upward side here, if this has a continuation up, seeing that resistance at 11,000, and then ideally you want to keep an eye at, honestly, the next range would be probably $12,000 here. We have this massive drop that kind of interferes with our previous trends, but you can see that there's approximately a little bit of a formation of resistance here. It looks like roughly around 11,250 or so. You can see some of these wicks on the bottom having tapped out on that. And then also bouncing off the top over here back on July 28th. So just kind of keep that in mind. Take a look over at Orchid, and then I want to read this AMA for you guys. Orchid has been steadily dropping down, which is kind of disappointing, to be honest with you, because it was looking pretty good. We were seeing some momentum up, but let's face it, a lot of the other coins ended up dropping a whole bunch. Stuff that people see so much positive future for. Chainlink, we just took a look at. Polkadot, we just took a look at. Yearn.Finance, we just took a look at, and guess what? All down. Bitcoin, big push up. Everything else, boom, big drop down. We did see a little bit of a climb back up here. So as things have been steadily over the hours, this is on the 1 hour chart right here. 1 hour down, 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 down. Try to recover and then down. even out basically, and then down and down, and starting to show a little bit of recovery. But right now it is very bearish. This is honestly concerning for me. I don't know if Bitcoin, if it does have a further drop right now, we could see a pretty big dramatic continuation down with this. I mean, it might even push back down. The more that this just keeps steadily progressing down, it might even push back down to around the 18-20 cent range. And I don't know if it will. I mean, nobody really knows for sure. I'm hoping that it doesn't. I'd like to just see it progress up to the point. I know a lot of people on Twitter, some of you guys in comment sections, a lot of people making videos, you guys speculate saying that realistically Orchid could be a $10 per token coin, which I would love if that could be the case. In fact, I would love it to go even higher because I've got a good amount staked into this personally. It's a project that I believe in and I support. And that's one of the reasons why I do research on it. But short term, with where we're looking at right now, it is looking bearish in my opinion and based on looking at the charts here. Now on the AMA, go and read through this pretty quickly for you guys. Orchid recently held 2 Ask Me Anything AMA sessions in our official Reddit and Telegram groups, giving our community members the opportunity to ask their most burning questions of our CEO, Dr. Stephen Waterhouse. It was inspiring to see the community's passion to learn about all things Orchid, from staking to VPN providers to nano payments and even to DeFi. Dr. Waterhouse, with some added perspective from fellow Orchid founder Jay Freeman, clearly enjoyed providing a flurry of answers. Here are the highlights from the AMAs. Reddit Q&A. Outgraph asked Dr. Waterhouse, as a company, where do you see Orchid in 5 years? To which Dr. Waterhouse replied, I am hopeful we are able to make a strong impact on people's lives from a privacy perspective and that we continue to develop interesting and relevant technology. Another user wanted to know, okay, so just to make things clear here, staking in the Orchid network is not the same as proof of stake. We get a lot of questions about this, and it's important to be clear on the differences. There are 2 kinds of staking in the Orchid network. Client staking, in which each client stakes a small amount of OXT, and provider staking, in which providers stake OXT and traffic is directed in a random stake weighted model to providers with more stake. Both kinds of staking are important security features of Orchid. Client staking in the form of membership deposits ensures that Orchid nano payments are a trustable solution despite primarily taking place off-chain. Provider staking is more like the kind of staking you're probably familiar with, but it's not a turnkey solution like with some other platforms. We believe this is an important distinction and a security feature of our system that those platforms lack. As the network grows, we anticipate more providers coming online and staking more OXT as a result. There could be opportunities for delegated staking in the future also. A lot depends on where the community takes things, of course. Another user had a question about non-USA providers and nodes, asking, have you guys partnered with any VPNs that are not in the US or thinking about partnering with VPNs outside of the country? I think people want the option to choose their location, as this is a common feature of VPNs. To which Dr. Waterhouse answered, good question. We have already partnered with non-US VPNs such as Bole and Liquid. Full list of VPN partners here, which you can actually click on the link on their blog website. Most of the partners have server presence globally. Currently, the app does not enable geolocation switching. Queried by another user, can I use OXT nano payments for my own project? At this time, Jay Freeman decided to chime in, answering that yes, our contract is published on Ethereum mainnet for anyone to use. As far as technical integration is concerned, you just use any off-the-shelf Ethereum SDK on the server to process winning tickets, which is simply a function call you make on the contract given parameters and a signature provided by the client, and to watch the user's account to verify that they have enough money and a high enough escrow. Really, the hard part is mostly that you have to make sure that nano payments fits within the economic model of your service offering. In our case, we know that there are sufficient incentives from repeat interactions combined with a sufficient high overhead to find a new customer, which is really paying in stake to wait for customers to find you. But it is still a customer acquisition cost, but this also includes the network costs of setting up the connection and bootstrapping the symmetric cryptography to ensure that people aren't going to just run away with the client's tiny fraction of a penny. Another user was over the moon that the Sork responded to me, and another user had a terrific follow-up question with, is it similar to state channels? Jay also responded saying, both payment channels and state channels provide a way of doing efficient payments to a single party under an assumption that eventually you will do enough transactions to make the total transfer worth the setup cost. Orchid's nanopayments are related to this space but approach the problem entirely different, allowing efficient broadcast of payments to large numbers of providers under an assumption that both users and providers are, in aggregate, sending and receiving enough payments that the probability distribution of payments each party sends and receives has low enough variance to be a wash. I personally thereby do not find any of the work on channels interesting, but that's clearly a bias from the use cases I'm interested in, where payments to individuals service providers might never total more than thousands of a penny. Another user came back with another great question later, asking, can you give us one more example of a possible use case for OXT other than providing a marketplace for bandwidth, which I feel is groundbreaking, by the way. Dr. Waterhouse replied, we'd love to explore different use cases with the community. A general framework for decentralized services would be an exciting one to see Orchid as part of. Some of the ideas that come to mind are things like paying for content instead of using paywalls, streaming services, and possibly interesting new network routing architectures. As always, I believe that the new successful ideas that emerge from a new technology are the ones that enable people to do something they previously couldn't do and take advantage of the new capabilities of the technology in unique ways. Then it goes on to say that if you want to read the full Reddit AMA, you can find the thread here. A week later, during the Telegram AMA, we had several great discussions come up, including the ones below. A user asked, DeFi is one of the hottest topics in the blockchain space right now. Can you share your opinion about DeFi with us? Do you think that DeFi will disrupt the existing financial system? What is Orchid's approach towards the DeFi sector? Dr. Waterhouse responded saying, I think DeFi is enabling people to do things they couldn't do in the existing financial system. For example, flash loans without KYC. So in that sense, it is a disruption. I see it enabling new products we haven't seen before rather than simply replacing existing financial systems. We are interested in the mechanisms some of these projects are using for governance and growth hacking, and I think there is a lot to learn there. Another user wanted some more info about the smart contract, stating, I am unable to understand how the contract works. Will be great if I get some docs that explains the contract methods. Dr. Waterhouse pointed out that we have diligence done here. The audit is not a short read, but it's a good one for anyone out there looking for more technical analysis and documentation on Orchid's protocol and the results of consensus's due diligence. If you want to read the full Telegram session, you can do so here, which they include a link. It lasted roughly 1 hour. We were thrilled at the level of engagement, and we are excited to continue to interact with our active community in various ways and using multiple platforms. We can't wait to meet you wherever you are as often as we can. Please feel free to send us any feedback if you have, and then they give you the links. So I don't know about you guys, but I would like to know from you guys, of this article, what did you find the most exciting, the most informative, the most interesting? And for me, it's this right here. Can you give us one more example of a possible use case for OXT other than providing a marketplace for bandwidth? When you expand out the markets, you don't restrict it to just like a VPN kind of mentality, right? The bandwidth. You expand out that, use mechanics that are built in with Orchid itself. It opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. And if you can tap into a market that has enough demand, and this can also fill that demand, the value of it will exponentially increase. Just one little tidbit, right, of information that comes out saying, hey, Orchid can now work with this as well, in addition to this other thing. And it's already made, it's already proven its track record here. You can see the team and what's been going on. Has a lot of this credibility that's been established. Look at the exchanges. You can get it on right now. We don't even have to speculate on some of these big name places. I mean, that's really, really bullish type information. So it's cool that they've got some different ideas that they talked about here that come to their mind, like paying for content instead of using paywalls, streaming services, possibly interesting new network routing architectures. It's absolutely, I love this. I love this. And I'm sure it's going to get people's brains spinning. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have some business meetings going on in the back end. Maybe they're already talking with some people trying to figure something out. I don't know for sure. It's just a speculation kind of thing. But when they're talking about for this project and they're looking at it from a long-term perspective, not just like trying to do something real quick and get out of this thing, they say that they are looking at this as a long-term based project. This is stuff that would come in on a long-term basis. You got to be able to expand out and diversify a little bit and start filling in more niches. And so I'm really excited personally about Orchid and its future. Again, guys, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Feel free to turn on the bell notification so you know when we have another video that goes up. Please do not forget to hit the like button. It would be awesome if we could get this to 50 likes. I don't know what we're at right now when you're watching this video, but if you haven't hit that like button, you could help us get to 50. It would mean a lot to me. It helps us raise the video in the search and discoverability. Other people have a chance to hear this information. And also drop a comment. Let me know what you thought from the video, what your favorite takeaway from this was. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next episode.